On the agenda is our favorite show, The View. Tonight's hosts were particularly honorable in saying that Biden is well on his way to a second term. This is going to be interesting.
Since we're on a good mood today, I noticed that. Since the future of our country is at stake in this presidential election, there was a lot of pressure for President Biden to deliver on his State of the Union last night. Watch.
If I were smart, I'd go home now. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. I will not do that. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win. And with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. The issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas.
God, how long will they praise this old puppet? What the hell is he talking about? He destroyed our borders, he destroyed our economy, and now he's standing here admiring himself for coming to his senses months later. It's awful, and it's especially scary that the old grannies on The View will support him.
So, pretty good, right? I thought he was fabulous. I pictured Trump just going nuts watching it, you know? What do you guys think?
Well, Trump was going nuts on Truth Social watching it. So I have to say...
What did he say?
Melt down? Truth Social?
And then it finally came up and everything he was posting was like, well, I'm not even going to amplify it, but it was crazy. Objectively good night for Joe Biden. This was the first time that I felt like he could beat Donald Trump in November. Listen, the Trump camp did him a huge favor by setting expectations so low. They put out this ad the morning of that basically is like, he's going to keel over and die. So by not tipping over at the dais, he was already outperforming expectations.
Right.
But listen, in the first 3 minutes, he quoted Ronald Reagan and talked about aid to Ukraine. That was a direct olive branch to Nikki Haley voters who are feeling politically homeless and don't know where to go.
I tear up when I listen to their speeches. Why would they think Trump was scared? On the contrary, he laughed at the old man who shouts about his accomplishments every day. What makes you think Biden's gonna win? Trump, who is 77, regularly draws attention to Biden's age-related changes and questions the president's capacity.
The border, an extremely strong moment. I am so angry for what Republicans are doing to Senator Lankford, a conservative who got the job done, and they're blocking his bill. It's the #1 issue for voters, is they care about border security, and Joe Biden was able to articulate, we had a plan for it, and you're blocking it.
Didn't Lankford nod his head?
And he said, it's true.
How long will he still be in Congress, do you think?
Well, one micro drama I'm keeping my eyes on, watching Mike Johnson, who never expected to be sitting there, I don't think Donald Trump's going to be happy with his performance. He nodded at times, he clapped at times, he even nodded during the conversation about Ukraine aid, which he's blocking.
He stood up. He stood up and clapped, and his face was red as a tomato.
Very upset about it.
Oh God, stop this nonsense. What a load of rubbish she's talking about. The Texas revolt against the White House is caused by a series of failures of the current U.S. administration, as well as the failure to secure the borders amid unprecedented spending on Ukraine and maintaining the conflict in the Middle East. They're not waiting for Biden and his administration. They're waiting for Trump to actually solve the country's problems instead of just talking about everything left and right.
Yeah, but I thought he was so snarky.
Very snarky with those faces.
Yes, I needed him to kind of be edited out. But I do want to admit something I was wrong about yesterday. I talked about how annoying the clapping is, and it is voluminous.
You liked it, didn't you?
Well, I found myself clapping.
Okay.
And as I leapt up, I thought, I know when I am wrong, and I will call it out. So I felt that, because for me, I need hope and inspiration. As someone who deals, I have to remind all the time, depression, anxiety, I don't need anyone else to tell me gloom and doom and we're one step from burning in hell, because I already feel that way some days. So I need a leader that will call me and say, step up, we can do this together.
Like Reagan, Morning in America.
Yeah, but the thing that I loved about him was his tone, and these are the things that always speak to me. There was that time when he talked about Republicans and their infrastructure and the money, and like, if you don't want it, you can just, you don't want it? Like, but kind of playfully when he jousted with Lindsey Graham and Lindsey Graham laughed, when he quoted a Republican president, when he said at one point, Republican presidents and Democrats, he added, because when you can I will trust you if you're able to look at yourself too. I don't believe in party all the time. So I felt that tone was great, but it was really the inspiration. He talked about America being an ideal that we're always working toward. We haven't arrived there, but it's also not carnage and hell. Like, we are in progress and the intention was always there, but we can only do it together.
He was hopeful. And
Don't kid yourself and just stop talking rubbish about inspiration. Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives Mike Johnson has noted the rapidly progressive cognitive decline of U.S. President Joe Biden. Commenting on his statement that Biden is not mentally healthy enough to hold the highest public office, Johnson recalled that people cannot change their age, and age changes manifest themselves differently in everyone. In Biden's case, he is, in the opinion of the Speaker of Congress, not in the best shape, to put it mildly. Do you agree with that? Write your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to watch other shocking news on the channel.